Gina, David mentioned there, obviously, that the tax cuts apply to Scotland. Martin Geisler had Ian Blackford on, the SNP leader at Westminster, talking about this very thing, whether or not there'd be any action in Scotland. What did you take from that?
It does put the Scottish Government in a difficult position, because obviously income tax is devolved. So what has been announced down south won't affect Scots, apart from that reduction or the going back to the level of the national insurance contribution. But there is pressure now, I think, on the Scottish Government about what it's going to do. There are 3 former economic advisers speaking out in the Sunday Times. There are others speaking out in the Sunday Telegraph saying they're going to have to match this, or they're going to have to do something or move slightly. Otherwise, there's going to be a brain drain, or even a kind of fiscal drain from Scotland to England.
On the Scottish aspect of this, there's a very difficult political question for the SNP, because the overall philosophy of it is opposed to what they would be considering, their grassroots kind of feeling. But they are then facing pretty difficult political choices, because this is going to cause cross-border issues. And the Mail, I think, has a very interesting table on the income tax measures, because it points out that even if you're on £25,000 a year, you're paying £102 more tax in Scotland now. And I don't think anyone thinks that £25,000 in the current climate is enough to support a family and consider yourself to be particularly well off. So I think that is going to be an issue, and it plays into a broader political point as well, which I think is quite interesting, which is if they move to mimic some of these measures, because there's, we're seeing certainly some business support. Sir Tom Hunter, for example, who's been fairly sympathetic towards the SNP, was an economic advisor to the previous Scottish Government administration. He's saying that they have to move towards harmonising some of these measures, or else face that kind of flight of wealth and high earners.